Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
Planet of Lana is a newer indie game that you played, and I don't really know much about this. It's one of those things I kind of saw some good stuff about, and that's it.
Yeah, it was a really nice trailer that they showed during Xbox that made me go, ooh, a long time ago. And what it is, it's kind of an interesting concept because it uses quite literally inside's gameplay mechanics. It's a 2D platformer with really impeccable animation, really good cutscenes. And I think the animation is just like super strong in it. So and it has this really kind of interesting story. But it uses mechanics you'd see in like Little Nightmares, like that sort of like cinematic
Oh, okay,
platformer,
yep.
I think people are calling them. So it's one of those. But it tells a much friendlier story because I think that genre is kind of inherently horror at this point.
It's very dark,
It's
if
very
nothing
dark.
else.
Yeah, and this is actually one of maybe like one of the lightest games I've played in recent memory. And I really enjoyed it, and it's really well made. But it's also the first game I introduced my kid to, who is a toddler. I try to keep him away from video games as much as I can, TV time
Yep.
down.
Yep.
But this is like the first time I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I thought this one. I think I played the opening hour and I checked the rating, and I was like, this one might be okay. But no, it was really fun. I think the entire game we played through like multiple sessions. It wasn't like one. It was only a 3 hour game. I think we
Ooh.
play like 4 or 5 sessions or something,
Yeah.
of him in my lap, and it was just really fun hearing him interact to this game because it was his first time seeing a character jump, the first time seeing a character
Oh, yeah.
pull something, like a first time a character, like you have like a little companion character. And the thing that's because the reason I kind of want to talk about that more is because to me this game is extremely straightforward. It's like you run, you jump. There's a story. There's some mechanics you have with this sort of like little cat companion character, where like you move the cat over to this point, he does something over there, and then it's like these kind of like little puzzles that I've played a million of them before. And then the story was like really straightforward. There's no talking in the story. Very simply, it starts off: you are a kid in a small village. A bunch of robots kidnap all of your friends and family, and you have to go get them.
Your standard
And
2D platformer affair of go get Princess Peach, go get the
yeah,
blanks, go with, yeah.
and there's like a little bit of mystery, but everything is just like laid out so clearly. Well, I feel like games like Inside and Little Nightmares, even when you're done with them, are like, what exactly happened here? Or
Okay.
even Journey. I think it's like it's got a lot of
Yep.
like DNA of Journey. It's got a lot of DNA of Shadow of the Colossus and Ico and those kind of games because they use a sort of a made up language.
Yeah.
But it was really fun kind of playing with my son because again he's seeing these things for the first time, and there's a lot of like repeated mechanics. So like every time the character would jump, you go, oh, jump, and then you're seeing him point out all of these like little mechanics like jumping. Oh, he's pulling a thing. The weird cat is like biting a wire or something like that, and he does like a million times. It's just kind of fun it's seeing a kid kind of just like break down a game into its basic components. Was just a really fun sort of having this like secondary observer while playing the game.
Yeah.
And just made it like just a much more enjoyable experience. So it's like it's not a game that I can like easily just like oh, it's good or bad or anything. Just because it was like really special for me and him, and it really felt like kind of one of the first times. When I was a kid, it was really important in my family. We played video games as a family. So when my dad, we played through the entire Silent Hill series as a family. Not something I would necessarily recommend.
Works,
But
it
it was like,
works.
yeah, but it was like the first game I got to play with him, and it felt like our first kind of like me and him thing. And it was really nice. He's like, oh look, there's like a weird cat. It's like, oh, what's that weird cat doing? And it was fun just seeing him like being like really surprised or even like a little scared. And to me, that are just like basic video game tropey stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just really exciting playing it through his eyes. It helps the game is really good.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get to the point where he could point out like jump, like he knew what was coming or like he knew what to do just out of curiosity?
He um he knew certain things, like if the so I mean, like very simply, if the cat is off screen, you have like this little companion character who's like a little
Yeah.
alien cat thing. He knew if the cat was off screen that like something was wrong. He's like,
Okay.
oh no, like the cat needs to be next to the character. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Or if
Which
there's
is
a
probably
rope.
a design development where it's like, okay, this is like something's coming up, and like you just don't even notice it because you're not focused on that little cat thing.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's like when you leave the screen with the cat in a different place, there's just like a little icon thing. It's like, okay, I know that, but he was like distressed. He's like, the cat is not with the character. I was like, that's funny because it's like, yeah, I guess that's probably what the game. That's what the game's telling you to do.
That's
It's just
that's the like the no interpretation version of what's happening. Like this is just the cat's gone, bad thing.
yeah, exactly. And like there's all these like little markers and tropes that games use that like I don't even see anymore. But he was
Yeah.
like noticing them. It was also really fun. There's some like emotional moments in the game that were, I would say personally, they didn't hit super hard for me, but it was kind of fun seeing him because he likes to be a little scared, and it was
Yep.
fun seeing him like because there's some scenes where there's like a big monster. I'm like, are you okay? Are you scared? He's like scared. I was like, okay. Do you want to keep playing? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right, we'll keep going. And actually, there's this really wonderful moment. He was totally okay with the entire game, except for this one moment, not spoiler. Your character is walking in front of a sunset, and a sad song is playing. And I guess my kid has just never heard a sad song before, and it was not. It wasn't even like it's kind of an emotional moment. It's a character walking a sunset. There's a sad song playing. Again, I've seen a million games do this. I've seen a million games where there's a slow walk and then there's a sad song. And then he just really picked up on like song sad. I was like, yeah. He's like sad, and then he just burst into tears.
Oh my gosh.
And it was. I mean, it was like he was fine after a while, but it's just
Yeah.
really interesting. Again, seeing this like through his eyes, and it's like there's a part of me that I wish games hit me in that way a little bit more than they
The like
do now.
jaded. I've seen it all.
No,
Like this is
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're doing. This did this 20 years ago, and I've seen it 7 times. All right.
Times.
Is there a fast forward button through the sad song of the sunset? We get it. Yup, it's mopey. Come on, move along, move along.
Exactly. And it's like, and I feel like because he was there observing it, and it was just me going, it's like, no, that is cool. That is cool. And like, and because he doesn't know how games are made, and he doesn't know how it's like, it's not just all gameplay programming and stuff. But no, it was just fun. It was a really fun experience. I'd say it's like kid safe. It's like, and that's what's really surprised me was like, there was every point during that game, I was like, this could get a little out of hand because I've never played this game.
Yeah,
This
you
is a
never
very,
know what's going to come up.
yeah, especially a game that's reminded me a lot of Inside. But
You keep making that comparison. I'm just waiting for this giant ball of people to be coming in. Like, all right, we're 2.5 hours in. Here comes the inside stuff.
yeah, and like I think at the end of the day, there were some skeletons, or like maybe the worst part. And it was funny because when there's these robot, these really cool looking robot spiders. The design of the game actually looks really nice art design wise. There's these robot spiders, and they go over and zap you when they find you. I was like, oh, he's going to sleep, and then canonically, he was going to sleep, so it was all cool.
I didn't have to lie about the like. No, he's just he's just going. He's just taking a nap down there. Yeah. He's sleepy.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was just really fun seeing a, let's say, quote unquote kids game that used this sort of mechanics and stuff that's usually held for like auteur, journey, and inside in adult games.
Yeah.
So it's just really neat seeing it. It's like actually this actually has a lot of potential of this type of game, because it felt like actually felt like a Disney movie, which I really liked.
Well, and I feel like those games are mechanically simple enough that even like as a like this is potentially a good intro point versus like whatever menu have you, even like a Super Mario where there is some challenge in there. Like you're not gonna be challenged playing this, I'm assuming, because you're never in a, like even like I mean Little Nightmares gets into a little bit, but like Inside and those types of things normally you're just walking through. So it's a very like, okay, we're getting the basics of this is character movement, this is jumping, this is this, and I do feel like that's a good genre to kind of be a starter point.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't feel like a kid's game. Even
It's
like,
not talking down to you the whole time.
Exactly. Like I love Kingdom Hearts. Playing that game, it's very clearly a children's game. No matter how much darkness they talk about it. But it just felt like, oh, it just felt like a kid's game that wasn't necessarily like catered to kids in the way that a lot of kids games are catered to kids, so to speak. So really like the game. Totally biased review, so check out somebody else's review of it. But I liked it quite a
bit. Good work saving that for the last 30 seconds here. So I'm gonna be really biased and not really review this, but you already listened, so thank you. We are Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We try and get new videos up every Monday. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you later.
Bye.